Okay. All right. First of all, we can find. Okay. This is kara. And let's do this. Kara. Okay. Nothing difficult here. And then what is the stem?
칼.
Right. You're right. Ka form.
Prefix
Yes. Prefix. Pigeon.
3MPL.
3M. Pierre. Yes. You're right. Special feature.
verb conversive.
Verb conversive. Meaning?
And they called.
And they call. By the way, kara, I think the most popular meaning of kara is to call, but sometimes it can be even mm, to cry out. Okay. So it depends on the context, but both will be accepted. In this case, the translation is and they called or cry out to the Lord. And this one is quite straightforward. Hamar, kal, prefix, 3MPL, Vav, conversive, and they said. Okay, so the meaning is given here. Ana means oh please. So oh please, and then this one, the Lord. Oh please, Lord. Negative particle are, al, and na. Particle please. I think most of you did a good job because looking at Allah, then you need to think about this possibility. And then together with this he ending, it signifies an important form, which is causative. So let's do this. Abat. And what about stem? We cannot say anything except kal. And what about form? You are not supposed to put prefix form because of this prefix pronoun. Are you following me? So when it comes to quotative, just see, please be careful. If you think this is quotative, then you are not supposed to put prefix form, although you can see the prefix pronoun. I think this is going to be related to the last verb analysis. Actually, some of you, most of you didn't see it. Anyway, we will move on. This one, anyway, so this one is cohortative, okay, not prefix. It's very straightforward because of the presence of na and then a he ending. So in terms of the indicator of quotative, we can expect the lengthening of the verb. Okay, so that's it. What about then PGN? You just follow the given PGN hinted by the prefix pronoun. So what does it mean by nun? What is this?
3CPL.
Nun in the beginning.
아,
One CPL.
1CPL.
One C
아,
P. Right. Good job. Aleph is one CSG, right? In the beginning. So nun signifies one CPL. What about special feature? You are
아,
supposed to put this he at the end. So what is called? Cohortative?
active particle.
No, cohortative he. This one is called cohortative he, and then this one is called particle na. So in fact, since this na is not directly attached to the main verb through McCabe, actually you are not supposed to put it here. Are you following me? So let me see. Where is major? Yeah. So in terms of the special feature, just to focus on this one, then ahe ending is called cohortative he. Don't forget it. If you are not familiar with this, then let's please go back to lesson 41, I guess. Okay, either 41 or 42. So you need to put quotative he. And what is the meaning? Let
Us
what's
perish.
Perish.
us. And then what is
Per-
the meaning about Paris? So in fact, the meaning itself should be let us perish. But together with Allah, and the translation will be different. So you are not supposed to put the meaning of Allah to here. Not yet. Okay. But if it is connected to the verb through makib, then you will include it in the meaning, and at the same time you need to put them as a special feature. Okay, do you have any questions so far? So I think some of you probably put prefix form here, but you have to put causative. Okay, so you need to see the difference between causative and prefix form. This is quite straightforward. Let's move on to the last one. Where is it? Here. Most of you did a good job analyzing it. Na, tan. What about stem? We don't see anything. You may want to put PL because of Dagesh. No, it's assimilation. So should it be Kal? What about form? In fact, most of you put prefix form. It's not totally wrong. But if you really pay attention to the context, then there is a possibility of even just C. Why? Because Joseph, in case of Joseph, there is no what is it? Permanent or absolute indicator. If you are dealing with a third head verb, then shortening, which means the dropping off of the third head, will be the most significant indicator for Joseph. But it doesn't always happen. Why? Because sometimes you will deal with non-third head verb. Am I right? So in case of the third head verb, then if you see the shortening, the disappearing of the third head, then that's for sure. That is just C. But when it comes to strong verb or the other verbs of which the third root letter is not he, then what are you going to do? There is no indicator for the just C. Then it depends on the context. Are you following me? So in this case, you got to be really careful. So I don't want you to include just C, whenever you deal with third person prefix form. Okay, but you have to bear in mind, okay, there might be a possibility. In this case, that is my dilemma. Then what I'm going to do, because this is just C, this is not prefix. It's quite interesting. Most of you put it as a prefix, and if I look at your translation, then most of you put it as a just C. Let's do this, okay? The prefix form, and then TAF has two possibility. What are they? 3 FSG and 2 MSG. So you need to put 2 here. Special feature, these two elements should be here. So verb conjunction and negative particle al. Or if you consider this one as a just C, then you need to put negative imperative. So what I'm trying to say is should be either negative imperative or negative particle al. If you think this is a prefix form, then you are supposed to put negative particle are. Putting this one as prefix form, you cannot put negative imperative. Because when you are saying imperative, negative imperative, then it should be just see. Do you know what I'm saying? So you have to have consistency there. So that is my dilemma. If you put prefix form, I will accept it. But I need to be picky about the special feature. Okay, if you go for prefix form, then negative particle. If you want to go for just if, then you need to put negative imperative. Okay, as long as you have consistency, then I will let deduct the mark. All right, don't worry. Even if you don't have consistency, it's only 0.5 deduction. Okay, but what I really want you to be aware of this, just if is something that you need to pay attention to from now on. Let's move on. Then what is the meaning? In terms of prefix form, then your translation will be, and she or you will not give. Am I right? That is the prefix meaning. In terms of jussive meaning, especially what is it, as negative imperative, then the translation will be totally different. What is it? Don't let her, or don't let you. Okay? Are you following me? In terms of translation of jussive, we normally use let or may. But in case of negative imperative, then we normally use don't let. So this one should be Carl, Joseph, third person. No. Do not, don't, you will not, blur. Don't let her. Don't let you. Oh, this one is a bit tricky in terms of final translation. I think this one must be then. Let me see. Oh, this one is tricky. Okay. I think because my dilemma is I know the context. That's why it's a bit tricky. But if you really focus on the given words, then even dam naki, the innocent blood can be the subject. Then in this case, then it could be just C form. So don't let the blood, innocent blood, okay, give. It doesn't make sense, right? Then I think a prefix form should be the answer. Okay. So then my answer is prefix form 3 MSG. I mean, no, 2 MSG and negative particle R and verb conjunction. So then the translation is, and you will not give or permit. Okay. That's the translation. And then the final translation will be, let's move on from the beginning. And they cried or called to the Lord, and they said, please, oh please, Lord. How are you going to translate this? Do not, please do not perish. What is the word? Let us perish. And what is this? Nepesh, life, and then preposition be. So in The what kind of a life? These three. These two are modifying this. The life of this
Man.
man. So in the life of this man, what does it mean by this word, this expression? Do not let us perish. And then this man refers to us. So the idea is, and do not let us perish in the life of this man, and you will not give innocent blood upon us. Okay, I think this is the part of a long passage. So in order for us to have a smoother translation, that we really need to look at the whole passage. So there are a lot of possibilities in terms of translation here. Even regarding the usage of this, it's not really clear in this specific given passage. So whether this one refers to us, as a metaphor, or if this one means a third party, I will accept both idea. Okay. But anyway, that's the idea. So once again, you are not supposed to put negative imperative here, just to be consistent in terms of negative particle and conjunction, then I will accept it. I think this one cannot be then just shift here, because this idea indicates the second person, you. Okay? Do you have any question here? Okay, then let's move on.
So what scripture is it? Do you know?
I think this is Joshua. Let me see. Let me double check. I think Jonah chapter 1, verse 4, maybe. Let me see. Hold on a second. No, it's not. Okay. Okay. Jonah. Yeah, that's the story.
Jonah 1:14.
Yes, 1:14. Right. Right. That's Jonah. Okay. So, and they cry unto Jehovah and say, we pray thee, O Jehovah, let us not, we pray that perish for this man's life, and do not lay on us innocent, do not lay on us innocent blood. Okay, I'm looking at the analysis of Bible works. Regarding the analysis of Nathan, it said imperfect second person masculine singular, Joseph in meaning, but no unique form for Joseph. So it says it has the possibility of Joseph, but since this one is second person, it cannot be Joseph. Okay, so this one must be prefix second person. But the idea is when we are talking about you will not uh, do something, it indicates the idea of wish. So it's not really imperative or causative or jussive. The meaning is somehow similar, but in terms of the analysis of the given word, it cannot be jussive because jussive is only for the third person. In order for this word to be Joseph, then the tab in the beginning must refer to the third person. Then could it be dam naki, the innocent blood should be the subject, but in this case, dam and naki is not the subject but the object. Do you know what I'm saying? So in this case, ta absolutely refer to the second person, which is the Lord, the praying, the prayer is addressed to God. So must be second person, then it cannot be Joseph. Okay. All right. Then let's move on to lesson 42. Okay. I think we just finished number 10. Do you remember? I think it was Phineas. Who was in charge of number 11? Okay. Do you remember I asked you to take one and then 11 was given to whom? Okay, Chumpy. Can you do that? Okay, let's do this. Number 11. Do you remember?
I don't, but let me try.
Okay, let's do this. Where can you find the verb?
Ahmad.
Yes, you're right. What is your analysis?
It is Joseph.
Okay, so that's Amat. Let's just do one by one. Root letters are Amat,
Ahmad. Yes.
Stan,
Carl.
Kyle,
Yes.
and then
Joseph.
Y.
Because it is that person and it has na.
Okay, let's look at our verb chart, please. I think there must be something that we need to check. Let's go to first guttural. Okay. And page 434. 434. Your verb chart 434. Okay, 440, 434. We are dealing with actually first guttural letter. 434. Oh, where are you? Come on. Okay, I'm talking about the vowel point under the prefix form. Okay, here we have a pata. Can you see that? We have pata. Can you see this? Under the prefix pronoun. Are you following me? And then at the same time, if we look at Kifil stem, we have what? Pata under the prefix pronoun. So we're looking at pata under the prefix pronoun for the first guttural verb. Okay, you have to think about two possibilities. in terms of stem, kal and kefil.
If you-
Without verb conversive, it'll take hirek yod in the between second and third. Okay, so this is gonna be a great indicator for, I mean, as the distinction between prefix form, but talking about the presence of a pata, the prefix pronoun, then you always need to think about these two possibilities. That's what I want to say. Okay, and another thing is when this prefix form kifil, this come on, this hiregyot will be shortened to either 1, 2, 3 dots when it comes together with verb conversive. As you can see that here for prefix verb conversive, we don't have hiregyot anymore. Can you see it here? Why? Because of verb conversive. So hiregyot becomes 1, 2, 3 dots. Can you see that? So this is something that you have to remember as well as we are dealing with. Okay, then let's go back to today's lesson again. 42. So now, in terms of the analysis of this one, then it's most likely it's not Hifil, but you're right. This one is Kastem. Okay, because without verb conversive, then we are expecting that there must be hiragyo between the second and third. Is that clear? So then that's Kastem, but without thinking about the possibility of what is it Hifil stem, you cannot simply move on. Otherwise, you may even lose the Hifil possibility. Okay, so you are good. Let's move on, Jumpy. And then form.
Jesse,
Yes. Why do you think this is just see?
because of na.
Okay, that's a good start. So then, what about special picture?
Uh, none.
No, actually, you have to include this one.
Oh yeah, na particle.
Not particle. So the meaning is
Uh, the meaning is uh, let it
or
let him
amat. Amat. Do you remember the meaning of the verb amat? Stand. To stand.
yes let him stand.
Who is this? Him here. Who is the subject?
David.
David. So let David
David stand.
stand where? Lefanai.
Left hand.
So refa means before, in the presence of
Before
I. Pronoun suffix?
me.
Yeah, so before me, in the presence of me. Okay? Because matza.
Yeah.
Stem.
Stand cup
Kal. Form.
from
You cannot see anything in the beginning, so cannot be prefix form. Nothing. So this one is quite straightforward, very basic concept. What did you say, Chumpy?
active.
Yeah, you're right. Affix. And then PGN,
3MSG.
you're right, 3MSG, meaning actually special feature should be key, okay?
Yes.
But the meaning is what? 4 because
So because
he, what is the meaning of matza?
fine.
Yeah, right. So should be past the tense, right? So
Yes.
for
Found.
he
For he
found.
found.
Found what? Hen. It's a can. What is this? Can. I think the meaning is given in your textbook. It means grace and favor. So he found favor
Favor.
where?
In.
In Ain. Ain means Ain.
I.
Yes,
I.
I. What
Yes.
kind of I?
My eye.
Okay. So actually, this is type 2. So must be plural. Do you remember the difference between type 1 and type 2? So when type 2 pronominal suffix is attached to noun, then it makes the noun plural. Do you remember this? But
Yes.
when they are attached to a preposition and other thing, there is no really big difference. But if you are dealing with a noun, then you need to see the difference between type and type. Okay. So, okay, what is your final translation?
Let David stand
Mhm.
before me.
Okay.
Because for
Mhm.
for he found favor
Mhm.
of my eye. In
Yes.
my eye.
Good job,
Eyes.
Jumpy. You did a good job. Let me turn your attention to number 13. Number 13 is quite important, and then we need to deal with this kind of a new concept here. Let's do it all together, okay? The first one, I mean, let's look at the words that I highlighted in red. They are all verbs. What is your analysis? The first one, you can answer freely. What is the root letter?
Nathan.
Nathan,
Yes, Nathan. Stem,
Cow.
Kal. Form,
prefix.
Yes.
No, prefix. Cohative. Cohative.
right. Actually, you are right to analyze it as quotative because of this lengthening, ahe ending, and together with prefix pronoun, the first person. So this one absolutely indicates quotative, but it's not quotative. Let me tell you this. If you have this ahe lengthening at the end attached to the prefix form, especially first person, then you can, most of it, you can just treat it as quotative, but not for this case. This one is an exceptional case, and then this specific ending is not considered to be lengthening or quotative he, but it's just it is called pedagogic he. So we have dealt with something similar before, pedagogic nun or pedagogic he. If we have nun addition at the end, they are sometimes called pedagogic nun, or sometimes if you have he augment at the end, that can be called pedagogic he. So it has something to do with reciting rhythm, so pronunciation. So in this case, it has nothing to do with the lengthening of quotative. But if you really pay attention to the context, you will know that this one is not meant to be understood as quotative. So even though you have clear indicator of quotative, sometimes you need to have this understanding that, oh, it might not be even quotative. This is an important reminder of an exceptional case. So this one is addressed as pedagogic hair, and then it's not really referring to qualitative. So the meaning should be like and, I, and then must be verb conversive. So meaning of Nathan is to give. So I gave instead of and let me give. Do you understand? Okay. So I gave what? A, the, Levi, and then plural form of Levi, im. So it should be Levites. Okay. The Levites. I gave the Levites. And what about this? Can you recognize this? This is a verb to do this. What is the letter?
Nathan.
Nathan. And then I think this is our first time to deal with this. But anyway, and then what about stem?
How.
Carl. What about form? Im ending. What kind of
Participle.
form can take im ending? So now you can see that this one must be participle. And can you pay attention to the oo sound between the second and third? So I told you, oo sound between the second and third refers to what? Do you remember last time we talked about shurek between the second and third? And it was the indicator of
Passive participle.
passive participle, right? So now we are dealing with another gender number of passive participle. I think last time we are dealing with masculine singular passive participle. Now you can see that, okay, it is following the general ending of participle. But the thing is, if you have oo sound between the second and third letters, then it is called passive participle. And then the gender should be person and gender. Gender and number should be what? Masculine plural because of im ending. So the translation should be passive participle is what? An adjective. So nadan means to give. So the meaning is given. Okay. So indicates the idea that there are some stuffs and then that they are given. Okay. It describes the status of a being. So now this net to nim are used very few times in the Bible. I think, if I'm not mistaken, less than 5 times. And then most of the time it refers to the Levites given to the specific ministry in serving God in the temple. So the idea of the meaning of given means give. So you will see the meaning of netunim as a gift. If you really look at the translation of the English translation of the passage, I think, where is it? Numbers 8:19. You just look at it and you will see that. So the idea is the Levites are given, okay, as a gift. But I don't know if really it is right for us to have the meaning of gift. But the idea is they are given beings. Do you understand? So if you pay attention to the context, and it refers to the situation that, oh, the Levites were given to whom? Aaron and his sons. Do you understand? So one more time, it's a vibe and second person pronoun, the suffix must be sons. So that's the idea. Okay? So now number 13 deals with two exceptional case. Not two exceptional cases, I need to say two new lessons, but in relation to jussive and then passive participle. So you need to be aware of those possibilities as well. So what do you need to remember? Okay, if you have a ending attached to prefix first person, then you always need to start with causative. Okay, if the context tells you that, oh, this one must be an causative, then stay with it. But if you think this one cannot be the causative, then you need to stay with pedagogic 해 instead of qualitative 해. Do you understand? Okay, that is another very exceptional case. Which is quite rare. But most of the time, if you have ahe ending for prefix first person, then you better stay with quotative. Okay? Do you have any question? Okay, so then we are done today. And then I need to let you know that tomorrow I'm going to attend an important meeting. So outcome meeting with president and other administrators. So I will not be able to teach you tomorrow. So I asked Elabaya to teach. So Elabaya will be with you for the lesson of 43. Okay, so that's just for your information. Enjoy the class with her, and then I'm gonna see you on Thursday. Okay, so may God continue to bless all of our Hebrew scholars and enjoy this week. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Sir.
Thank you, sir.